Archangel Michael says, the shadows of your childhood held something that was never meant to be forgotten. A power wrapped in silence was placed beneath your bed, not by accident, but by divine orchestration. This was not an object of fear, but a secret light meant to protect and shape you before the world even knew your name. You were only a child, unaware of the spiritual storm happening around you. But that one spot under your bed, yes, the place where you sometimes feared to look, was chosen. Chosen by a force that understood the weight of your destiny before you could even speak it aloud. Your innocence shielded you from what others might have run from in terror. Type Amen to get blessing 333. That power slept when you did, it listened when you cried, and it watched over your small frame during those long silent nights. It wasn't just an angel, it was the evidence of a divine covenant formed over your life. And though you didn't know it, your name was already echoing in realms beyond this world. Someone older than you had placed it there, maybe in prayer, maybe in tears, but with knowing hands. The vibrations that shook your soul when you were restless came from that hidden force. It held memories you'd one day be strong enough to face. And the dreams that frightened you, yes, even those, were battles being fought on your behalf in secret. Not every nightmare was a curse, some were messages written in code, carved from light. Type Amen to get blessing 717. Archangel Michael says, the room you grew up in was spiritually active, and you were marked by heaven early. You were not like the others, and the unseen world knew that. That is why the attacks on your mind began so young, because you were never meant to be ordinary. There were nights you heard footsteps, but no one was there. That wasn't your imagination playing tricks, it was movement. Spiritual movement trying to find its way to you and past you. But the force under your bed acted as a lock, a seal of divine fire, keeping darkness away. Type Amen to get blessing 444. And the reason certain people avoided your room or acted strange when they entered was not coincidence. Some sensed what their spirit couldn't explain, a heavy presence, an unshakable quiet. They didn't realize they were stepping into sacred territory every time they stood near you. You were sleeping in a throne room disguised as a bedroom. That's why you always had strange dreams, visions that never made sense until now. You've seen things you couldn't talk about, felt shifts in energy that no one believed. And even now, there's a part of you that still feels like something stayed behind when you moved away. Because that power wasn't tied to the house, it was tied to you. Type Amen to get blessing 101. You were born with a key embedded in your soul. That key was activated each time you survived what should have broken you. And every time you cried into your pillow, it vibrated with ancient energy. The tears weren't wasted, they watered something holy within you. There were moments your body felt too heavy, and you didn't understand why. Because you were carrying more than flesh, you were carrying purpose. Even as a child, the enemy tried to weaken you early, but the light beneath your bed never let it through. It's the reason you woke up after nightmares stronger than before. Type Amen to get blessing 555. There was also a spirit watching over you, not of this world. It was ancient, not bound by time, and assigned solely to you. Not everyone gets this, only the ones who carry bloodlines of resurrection and fire. Archangel Michael says, this force beneath your bed wasn't just protection, it was the beginning of your awakening. There's a reason why you're being reminded of it now. Something you buried in memory is about to rise again in power. Because the season of silence is ending, and the truths you locked away as a child are surfacing with purpose. Type Amen to get blessing 212. They tried to dim you by making you forget what made you different. But God is bringing back every sacred imprint, every coded message you were too young to decode. Even the toys you played with were spiritual mirrors, some repelled darkness without you even knowing. You chose things with your spirit long before your mind understood. You never truly played like the others. You talked to the air and it answered. You drew images that made adults pause, wondering where you saw such things. Your gift was always active, only now it's reaching full flame. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Your silence was your shield. But now your voice must be your weapon. You can't go back under the covers anymore. It's time to open the spiritual box placed under your childhood bed. There is something you left behind the last time you visited that house. It wasn't a toy or clothing, it was a piece of your identity that got trapped in time. You outgrew the room, but not the energy. That energy has been waiting for your return. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Someone in your family knew you were different. They might have said strange things to you, things you couldn't understand then. But their words still echo in your bones today. Because they saw the mark, they felt the calling glowing off your skin. Your presence altered the atmosphere. You've always been the interruption to generational patterns. You made the demons uncomfortable, even as a toddler. You smiled and storms stopped. Type Amen to get blessing 373. You've wondered why life has been so hard, why heaviness never seems to leave completely. It's because the one who has been chosen to carry divine memory will always feel weight. You were carrying things from beyond this realm even before you could speak in full sentences. There was a woman who whispered over your sleeping body. She spoke in tongues that weren't of earth, but heaven recognized it. Her words formed the roots of your calling. She tied spiritual gifts into your future, and heaven agreed. Type Amen to get blessing 606. You've walked through fire that should have left your heart permanently broken. But something always lifted you at the last second. That something was the same power that once hid under your bed. It still moves with you, it hasn't left. The attacks lately? They've increased because the enemy knows you're about to unlock something forgotten. A truth so strong it will cause ripple effects through your entire bloodline. You were not meant to live quietly anymore. The voice inside you must be released. Type Amen to get blessing 313. Archangel Michael says, the divine energy assigned to you as a child is calling for activation now. You've come full circle, and your presence is needed again to break the final curse that's been hiding in plain sight. Go back spiritually to that room and speak life over it again. Stand where your bed used to be and decree, nothing that tried to silence me will win. Because your roots are holy. Your journey began long before others knew what you carried. Even when you were small, the heavens took you seriously. Type Amen to get blessing 191. That is why your tears as a child were so heavy, they were mixed with memory, purpose, and spiritual oil. That oil is resurfacing now in your adult life. And with it, comes insight, clarity, and a new level of warfare. You no longer hide beneath the bed, you stand on top of it and declare your victory. A spiritual inheritance is unfolding for you. Something once invisible is now becoming visible. You're stepping into a power that's been waiting since your childhood. This time, you won't walk alone. Type Amen to get blessing 505. Even the monsters they said weren't real were actually spiritual confrontations you survived. You were never just fighting imaginary fears. You were being trained in the spirit by divine fire and heavenly discipline. That's why your dreams still come heavy. That's why even silence feels loud to you. You're tuned into a realm most don't hear. Because your spiritual ears were anointed under the weight of a childhood most couldn't have endured. Type Amen to get blessing 727. You are called to rise, chosen to remember, anointed to destroy what others bowed to. That secret under your bed was never meant to scare you, it was meant to wake you. And now, you are fully awake. Let the memories return without fear. Let the heaviness lift into authority. And let your voice thunder across every silence you were forced to accept. Because you were chosen. Because you were marked. Because the bed didn't hold a child, it held a prophet. Type Amen to get blessing 444. You may not have understood then, but the nights you stayed wide awake staring at the ceiling had meaning. There were spiritual codes unlocking in your sleep cycle, and divine messengers whispering ancient truths over your body. The tingling in your arms, the sudden chills, the way you felt watched, it was not fear, it was confirmation. You were never left unguarded, not even for a second. The hidden force beneath your bed was only one layer, there were others. Hovering above you, circling the corners of your childhood room. Heaven had doubled your protection because of what was written in your timeline. Something sacred was always standing between you and disaster. Type Amen to get blessing 181. They tried to place fear in you early so you'd never return to the source. But what they don't know is, fear can be transformed into fire. And you, chosen one, were born from that fire. Even when they laughed at your imagination, mocked your sensitivity, or silenced your tears, the heavens were archiving every moment. Your prayers back then, though simple and childlike, stirred oceans in the realm of angels. One whisper from you as a child moved more than 1,000 voices. That's why you were misunderstood even in your own home. Type Amen to get blessing 232. You've always had the gift of sight. You didn't just dream, you saw. You didn't just imagine, you remembered what most forget. It's time now. Time to stop brushing aside the memories that flash when you close your eyes. Time to go deeper and ask yourself, what did you really see under that bed? Because the truth is, that wasn't just a memory, it was an invitation to purpose. Type Amen to get blessing 999. You were marked while still forming. Your cries echoed across generations. And the woman who held you first saw something in your eyes that made her tremble. She may have never spoken it aloud, but she knew. Knew that your destiny wasn't going to look like anyone else's. And the things you'd go through would be heavy, yes, but they would unlock doors for others. You are the sacrifice and the solution. Type Amen to get blessing 414. They tried to silence you through shame. They tried to bind you in loneliness. But the power that slept under your bed did not allow it. Every time you felt unexplainable peace, even when surrounded by chaos, that was proof. Proof that the spiritual guardians never left your side. You were chosen not because of perfection, but because of alignment. There is something about your soul that heaven trusts. Type Amen to get blessing 288. Now listen carefully, there is still something buried beneath. Not physically, but spiritually. And it's calling to you again because the time of unlocking has arrived. You'll feel it in waves, waves of memories, strange smells, visions you haven't had in years. That's not coincidence, that's your inner world cracking open again. The same divine force that once protected you now wants to empower you. You are not just the survivor, you are the redeemer of your bloodline. Type Amen to get blessing 393. Archangel Michael says, what once slept beneath your bed is now rising within your spirit. This force is no longer hiding, it's taking form through your voice, your hands, your actions. And it will guide you into a destiny bigger than fear could ever stop. They'll ask how you became so bold, so wise, so untouchable. And you will answer, because I was forged in silence and guarded by fire. Your childhood was not broken, it was broken open for your calling. This is why you've always felt like a walking mystery, even to yourself. Type Amen to get blessing 262. The strange illnesses you had as a child, the dreams of places you'd never been, those were all signs. You were being spiritually trained in a way few will ever understand. Your body was reacting to spiritual downloads too powerful for your age. But you survived. You rose. And now, you're ready to awaken the part of you that was left asleep for this exact moment. Because the world is shifting, and your presence is a part of that divine rotation. Type Amen to get blessing 700. What was hidden will now be revealed. What was buried will now bloom. What was ignored will now roar. The child you once were and the power you now carry are becoming one. That reunion within your soul will tear open the gates of limitation. You are about to remember something that changes everything. You will reclaim power you didn't know was still yours. Type Amen to get blessing 343. You might revisit your old room soon or find yourself dreaming of it more. It's not nostalgia, it's a spiritual signal. It's time to spiritually reclaim your space. Whether that bed still exists or not, the power beneath it has followed you into adulthood. It doesn't dwell under your bed anymore, it dwells in your footsteps. It's in the way you move through pain. It's in the way you defy what tried to break you. Type Amen to get blessing 515. That spiritual deposit has matured. It's time to use it, time to speak with it, time to build with it. No more hiding. Even if people laugh or call you strange again. Let them. This time, you won't apologize for being set apart. You won't bow to being normal. You are not of this world. Type Amen to get blessing 600. You are the walking fulfillment of hidden prophecy. Even your scars are coded in divine design. You did not go through the dark to come out dim. The light you carry is too ancient to be dimmed by modern confusion. And the child within you is dancing now, because the circle is complete. What was once hidden under your bed now rises through your breath. Speak. Declare. Move in power. Type Amen to get blessing 313. The bed no longer exists, but the assignment never died. You are the evidence that divine preparation never fails. You are the result of spiritual warfare won. This message reached you now because you're finally ready to open that door within. And when you do, oh, how the atmosphere around you will shift. You'll see who's real. You'll feel what's fake. You'll sense what's next. Type Amen to get blessing 123. And in all of it, remember, you were never alone. Not then, not now. The power was always there, watching from beneath, waiting for your rise. Now it doesn't have to hide. Now it walks with you, speaks through you, builds with you. Because the time of concealment has ended. Your light is now your weapon. Type Amen to get blessing 808. You are the flame they couldn't blow out. You are the name they couldn't erase. You are the force they couldn't touch. The child you were is proud of who you've become. The spirit that once lived under your bed is smiling. And heaven is whispering, welcome to your full awakening. Type Amen to get blessing 000. You have awakened something ancient that was waiting for your courage. It waited silently through every betrayal, every breakdown, every lonely hour you thought would never end. But now it rises, because you have finally stepped into the timeline that was always meant to carry power. Your story is not ordinary, it was never written with ease in mind. Every moment of silence was a sacred preparation. Every season of confusion was building spiritual muscles inside of you. And every time you survived something that tried to destroy you, the light beneath your bed grew stronger. Type Amen to get blessing 464. What once lived under your childhood bed is now part of your spiritual armor. You carry its essence without even knowing it. It shields you when you walk into rooms where eyes pretend not to see, but spirits recognize you instantly. You were always the key, even when you felt like the locked door. You were always the light, even when wrapped in darkness. And that energy still follows you because its mission is not complete. It will be with you until the final victory is witnessed. Type Amen to get blessing 345. You don't need to fear what's coming next. The reason the pressure has increased lately is because your spiritual gates are opening. And what was hidden within you is now radiating out into the world, beyond your control. This energy will attract divine encounters and expose false ones. Some people will flee from your presence, not because you did anything, but because your soul makes their shadows uncomfortable. They'll feel the fire you've inherited and not know how to stand near it. But don't dim yourself again. Type Amen to get blessing 929. You didn't come this far to become smaller. You didn't survive your childhood storms just to be polite. You carry thunder in your voice now, and it's time to let it speak. Even if your hands shake, speak. Even if your voice cracks, speak. Even if no one claps, keep going. Because heaven will roar when you say what you were born to declare. Type Amen to get blessing 646. There's a reason your childhood was different. You weren't just growing, you were absorbing divine frequencies. You were being trusted with spiritual data most adults couldn't handle. And now that you've reached this point, the codes are unlocking. That's why old memories keep returning. That's why you feel like you're walking through two timelines at once, because you are. The past and future are colliding to deliver your divine present. Type Amen to get blessing 121. That energy you once feared is now responding to your command. You've grown into the captain of your own spiritual realm. And everything that was hidden from you as a child is now flowing toward you with force. The strange marks on your body, the dreams that return, the smells that appear out of nowhere, it's all confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not unstable. You are spiritually active and heaven certified. Type Amen to get blessing 717. Archangel Michael says, when you walk into your old room again, something will shift. Even if the bed is gone, even if it's been years, your spirit will recognize that ground. Because what was placed there was not bound by furniture, it was bound by calling. And if you can't return physically, return in your prayers. Close your eyes and go back with intention. Stand in the same spiritual place and say, I activate everything hidden that was meant to bless me. That declaration will echo into realms unseen. Type Amen to get blessing 383. This power will not just bless you, it will redeem years lost. It will restore innocence stolen. It will repair bloodlines broken by pain. You are the one they waited for. The one the enemy feared from your very birth. The one who saw too much, felt too deep, and still never lost heart. You are not behind, you are right on time. Type Amen to get blessing 727. You'll begin to notice your surroundings reacting to you more. Lights may flicker, animals may behave strangely, people may confess things suddenly. It's not superstition, it's spiritual recognition. The air itself knows you've risen. And every moment of fear you faced as a child is now being reversed. You are being restored to the version of you that knew how to see without shame. The divine is awakening in your footsteps. Type Amen to get blessing 999. No more fear under the bed. No more shame about what you felt. No more shrinking your gift to fit in shallow spaces. This season will stretch you, but it will also crown you. It will test you, but it will also reward you. Because the hidden power wasn't just meant to protect, it was meant to launch. You're stepping into the launch now. Type Amen to get blessing 454. Expect supernatural alignment. Expect vivid dreams that answer questions. Expect signs to come in threes. You'll see numbers, you'll hear names, you'll sense truths before they're revealed. This is the harvest of what was planted in your childhood soul. That hidden force beneath your bed was the soil, and now, you are the tree. A tree with branches that will reach far into generations ahead. Type Amen to get blessing 000. People may not understand how you got here. They'll assume you're lucky or exaggerating. Let them. Because you know the nights you cried and the whispers you heard. You know the shadows that tried to swallow you. And most importantly, you know the light that rose anyway. That light is your birthright. Type Amen to get blessing 636. As you continue to walk forward, remember, this is not the end. This is the returning. The full circle blessing you didn't even know you'd earned. All because of a quiet, divine presence once hidden under a bed. A presence that held space for your greatness, even before you knew your name carried glory. Now walk, chosen one. Walk as the fulfilled promise that once wept in silence. Type Amen to get blessing 500.